My name is Grace Kaloje with Chicago Title, and I'm so lucky because I have my first realtor guest on the show, Gia Devenyi. She's been in the industry since 2007, and she pulled herself out of the housing crash.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gia Devenyi with the Gia Chicago team with Jameson Sotheby's International Realty, and I am so excited to be here today.
All right, so let's get this started. You became a licensed realtor during the recession in 2007 while juggling underwriting and trying to make ends meet. What pushed you to finally launch Gia Chicago in 2020 instead of joining another team?
It's a great question. So essentially, I had moved to the city in 2013. I joined at Properties for a long time. I was there for about maybe, I want to say roughly around 7 years. Made a little switch to Compass. And after that point, I had spoke to my mentor. That was my first managing broker back in Naperville. And I really had a great conversation with him because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, honestly. And he gave me the idea of starting a team. And he said, I probably don't need to be on another team. I either go off on my own or start something. And I really enjoyed mentoring. I think that from the years of coaching tennis, especially, I really enjoyed teaching people and teaching others that want to have more knowledge, whether it's sport or real estate or whatever it may be. And so I thought, you know what? I would like to do that. So I went ahead and started Gia Chicago in 2020 of January, which was literally 2 months before COVID.
Your tagline is client first with global reach. In your own words, what does client first look like in your practice?
Client first. Well, let me ask you a question, Grace. When you think of client first, or you just think of the word first, is there like a certain thing that comes to your mind? Like, what do you think of when you think of first?
Being the first one to know about a property, or the first one to have an exclusive look at a luxury property that no one else can get their hands on.
So basically what comes to my mind is prioritizing, being maybe the only one, being exclusive, kind of like what you said, right? Like knowing about an exclusive listing. Yeah. So essentially what I do with my clients is we always make not only just informed decisions, but I try to make sure that everything is completely aligned with their needs. I want them to always feel like they're getting VIP service, like they're the only client that I have when I'm in fact juggling, let's just say 10 to 12 clients at the same time. I don't want them to ever feel like they are second or third. I want them to feel like they are first.
As you've taken on more listings in recent years, how has your marketing evolved, and what's changed and what's working better now than it has before?
I have become more listing heavy in the last 4 to 5 years. This was actually something that I've worked towards like literally my whole career, I'll say. I'll back up a little bit. I started off as a buyer's agent. I was very heavy on the buyer's side, and then I just think after things have evolved, staying in touch with your clients. And I think what's really changed in the last couple of years is really just my marketing. And I'm lucky I started becoming a listing agent probably more 70-30, I would say. It doesn't matter if I have a $250,000 listing or if I have a $2 million listing. I literally do the same kind of marketing now that I do for every single listing. I do a walkthrough video with them. I do at least 25 photos for each listing. I still do the floor plans, but every single listing now that I do is really, it has exclusive marketing, and that's really what's changed. I'd say in the last couple of years prior to that, I wasn't really doing those marketing videos, but as we know, with social media, videos are extremely important. So staying up with my social content has been extremely important with keeping viewers engaged.
Do you have a secret weapon behind your content?
I love that question. So my secret weapon behind my content, I would like to say it's actually me. So I will be very real with you. I actually am the one that runs both of my social media pages. I do not have anyone else running them for me. My Gia Chicago page, it's ran by myself. At one point, I did have some people helping me. I did have an agent on my team that was kind of helping me at one point when we first got started. Over the past years, what I noticed is I really like control over certain things. I don't like to say I'm a micromanager, but I am a perfectionist when it comes to specifics in my practice. And there's one more with me, and I would say that would be having a videographer. That's extremely important. And if you can invest in that, I think that is crucial these days.
What neighborhoods do you focus on the most, and what draws you to them?
First off, I am all over Chicago. I do all neighborhoods. However, for some reason, I guess I have this brand that I had no idea about this until I've had like a couple agents recently in the last year call me and they're like, "Hi Gia, I know you're like the loft queen of West Loop." And I'm like, "I am?" I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "Yes, you're the queen of the lofts." And I'm guessing that's because of 137 South Canal because I've basically have just farmed the crap out of that building, and I do sell a lot in that building. I probably have anywhere from like half of the listings a year in that building. But my focus there was because I was living there for 6.5 years. So, you live there, you're part of the community, you venture out, you're probably naturally, organically going to maybe do a little bit more business than any other neighborhood. Now I live in Avondale. I've lived there for about 5.5 years. I own a couple properties in Avondale. I venture into all of the shops there as well. So I do a lot of business in Avondale, but I also do a nice amount of business in Lincoln Park as well. I do a lot in Gold Coast. Again, kind of all over.
Like you said, you're deeply connected to Avondale. You live there. You had 2 billboards up. Support your local businesses, and you stay involved when you can. How has staying rooted in your community impacted your business?
First, I just want to kind of be clear with something. When I put up any kind of advertising, like a billboard or anything like that, or what I've done in the past, it's really truly not to get leads, right? And people are gonna be like, well, why are you spending all that money? And it's really because I'm embedded in that neighborhood. I talk to so many of the shop's owners there, and I'm friends with them, genuine friends with a lot of them. And so for myself, what I was thinking was how great it would be to have those billboards and just kind of always being on top of the mind, right? And that's literally it. Honestly, just having wonderful natural relationships with a lot of these people in the community, it's really been the most fulfilling thing ever. And have I gotten referrals? Yes, I absolutely have, but they did not come overnight. I'm talking about the last couple of years, and I've been there now for almost 6 years. So again, I like things to happen very organically.
For someone new to Chicago, what is one underrated neighborhood they should really be paying attention to?
Not just because I live there, but a lot of people don't really know of it still, unless you actually do live here. I feel like everyone's like, ooh, Avondale's the new up-and-coming hot neighborhood, right? And people that are not from here have no idea what Avondale is. And it sounds, honestly, like it's kind of far away, Avondale, right? So I would say that Avondale is a great area if you're looking to live anywhere near West Lakeview, Roscoe Village, North Center, or Logan Square, because Avondale is right in the middle of all of those. It's very close proximity to the highway. You're by 3 highways. You're by Kimball, you're by Sacramento, you're by the Diversity Highway, okay? Or exit, I'm sorry. And you're by the Blue Line, which is the Belmont Blue Line. So there's a ton of bars and shops, and there's a lot of like a new Pilates studio just went in right across the street from my house. There's just some really cute little boutiques and stuff going on. That is a great spot to still look at, where I think you can still sort of get a bang for your buck. It is going up in price, and I've been saying this the last 3 years, get in while you can, because it's not going to stay those prices much longer. And people don't know that, but it's right by the highway. That's the thing. If you want to live somewhere and it takes you 5 to 10 minutes to get to a highway, that throws everything off.
What is one recent shift in the Chicago market that agents should keep an eye on?
So there's a couple different types of shifts. I mean, we're in a seasonal market. As we approach the fall market, things are going to start slowing down. And we are already seeing things slow down because we are in what's called the summer shift. We have our spring market. We have our pre-spring market that starts in January. We always say that those buyers are the buyers that are really trying to get a head start on everything. Then you have the spring market, right? And it's absolutely nuts. And then you have your summer market. However, it is very vague for me to talk about just markets in general, just because we have what's called micro markets in different neighborhoods. Right now, you're not seeing a slowdown in Lincoln Park. You're still seeing everything go for 25, 50, 100,000 over in specific price ranges. But let's just say generally, right now, we are in the market of the summer shift, and we are getting towards the fall market. So you want to make sure that your clients and your sellers are being very smart on how you guys are adjusting your prices right now.
As a top producing agent, what's been the biggest challenge scaling your business while trying to keep a personal touch?
As years go by and you evolve as an agent, technically you are supposed to get busier, and that has a lot to do with staying on top of your clients, staying in front of them, following up, right? And as your life gets busier and the more clients that you gain, things are going to get crazy. And I always tell agents, start investing in your business. So for myself personally, I invest a lot every year in my business, and that means I have a transaction manager manager. I have a videographer now, right? I have a marketing manager as well. I started a team so that they could help me. And all of those things, they're not free. They do cost money. So I think what's very important is to figure out when you're ready to start investing in yourself and in your business. And that's really what's going to help you grow and maintain your personal relationships with your clients so that they feel that they are in a client-first type of relationship with you.
What are you telling sellers right now when it comes to pricing, prep, and timing their listings? I know we just kind of briefed on it, but what are you must-dos to ensure a home is truly market ready?
First and foremost, I'm just going to say when it's not about the money, it's about the money, okay? And when right now, heading into this summer shift, well, we're really like right in the middle of it, I'm just going to take it all down to the money part. So pricing. Pricing is absolutely crucial. We're going to be heading into the fall market. So any of my sellers right now, I say, look, you cannot compare who sold their home 2.5, 3 months ago back in March and April and they got this price. We can't go by the spring market prices. We have to be smart because what's going to happen is if our property ends up sitting a little bit longer, an extra 30 to 60 days, then what happens is that any of the buyers that are looking within September or in October, they're going to see how many days on market you have and that instantly raises red flags. When it really shouldn't. There might not be anything wrong, but sellers tend to get a little bit greedy, okay? And when they see that their neighbor sold 100 grand over, I understand that. That's to them, they're seeing money and dollar signs, right? So you have to be extremely smart. So that's my main conversation that I'm having with my sellers right now while going into the summer and fall market for any listings that I'm taking on now. Also, must-dos are you have to have a clean property, making sure that everything is prepped. I set a seller checklist to make sure that everything is taken care of from like your windows, making sure those are shiny and cleaned, to all your countertops being cleaned off. I mean, I want it to look like it's something out of Architectural Digest or Home and Garden magazine.
So you've secured 60 to 65% of listings in the metropolitan place over the past few years. How did you become the go-to agent there? And what's your advice for farming and building effectively? Because we know you can do it.
I'm going to try not to keep this one long because I know I've spoke about this on some other podcasts before, but essentially I lived there for 6.5 years and I became part of the community there. I joined the social committee there and it was basically the party committee. From there, I ended up becoming friends with so many of the different owners and neighbors. And then essentially I just started sending out mailers and I kept those very consistent. And I will tell you guys this, consistency is everything. It is key. I continuously sent out this thing that's called a gatefold. Every single year for the last 5 years in December, I send it out. It talks about me, my personal life, talks about how I am the brand ambassador for Metropolitan Place. And it gives all my stats. And that's truly where I feel like my business kind of changed in there was when I started sending out that gatefold. And then from there, I've just always followed up and kept in touch with everybody. It really means a lot to keep in touch and follow up people.
With so many tools out there, CRMs, social media, digital platforms, what technology do you actually rely on to grow and stay consistent? I know you said consistency is key. We see it in your socials. So which ones do you actually use?
So I gotta be real. I'm not like a crazy TikToker, but I have like almost 900 followers. And I don't even know where that came from, but I'll be real. I just started TikTok a year ago. So like, meaning like for my business about a year ago, if you go on there, you'll see some stupid stuff from like a couple of years ago. But like, yeah, so I am utilizing TikTok. I don't post all the time, but honestly, I think my social content with like filming like and just doing stuff like this, posting all of my video walkthroughs and engaging with my audiences, I think that's really helped a ton. And that's what I've been trying to stay consistent with.
You've gone from the back end of real estate to becoming the top 1% producer with your own brand. What advice do you have for agents who want to build a meaningful and long-lasting business?
There's so many things that I could honestly say, but I will always say the first thing is consistency. Consistency. I cannot believe I did not stutter saying that. But consistency is honestly key. Having a wonderful, disciplined routine, that is huge. And I also have to say that for a lot of these newer agents too that are coming in and they're seeing all these agents selling $1 million homes right away or whatever it may be, I just want people to understand that that isn't always totally realistic right in the beginning. If some people are getting those listings or they're getting those buyers, that is freaking awesome. That is wonderful. But I think for a lot of newer agents or people that are looking to grow, stop playing the comparison game. We don't need to compare anymore. Put your head down, focus. Just focus on your sphere, following up with your clients, following up with the people that are literally around you. But stop thinking that you are going to put out an ad for something and that you have to target strangers. It's not who you're going to get your business from. It's going to be from your friends. It's going to be from your family. It's going to be from the people that you work out with or at your book club, but really those real relationships. So consistency, growing those relationships, keeping up in front of people, and also just being a really good person.
So I think we're wrapping it up here, but we're going to have one question that everyone would want to know. Sure. Whether you're a new agent, an old agent, you buy, sell, anything, how can someone contact you and maybe just have a conversation along the way?
You can find me at www.giasellchicago.com. That'll have all my contact info. It'll take you directly to my Jameson Sotheby's website. And then you also can reach out on my social media and friend request me if you want. I will possibly approve you on my personal page. We'll see. But that's at Gia Devenyi and then Gia Chicago as well. That's my business page. And that's at Gia_Chicago_.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
If you have not been in this office yet, it's at 35 West Wacker. This is the new Chicago title office. It is absolutely fabulous. And I think that as agents, we do need to get back in here for closings with our buyers. And honestly, just to see this office and see Grace and Ian as well.